Hey guys, sorry, I'm just checking just seeing the chat. Let me just bring this to my main screen. Let's see. Nando? Hey Nando. Welcome to the stream. Let me see. I'm studying for my machine learning exam. Not exam, I'm actually taking an online course in machine learning, or rather redoing it. It's a newer version offered on a website called Coursera. So I'm just getting caught up there. Just finishing taking notes for a video that I'm following. A nice throw. I just saw your message. I have to check my Streamlabs to see why I am getting such a chat delay. I'm just gonna open the chat on my side screen on Twitch. OBS is acting really weird. All right. Yeah, Coursera is great. I love Coursera. I originally learned decent chunk of my data science on Coursera. I work now as a solutions architect, but I was working as a data scientist for like 2 years. But then I ended up in solutions architect stuff, and I love it. I think solutions architect and solutions engineering is really fun. It's a good application of data science that I don't think most people know about, or most data scientists don't consider it a good application. But I disagree with it. I was doing data science pretty hardcore for like 2 years. But then when I started doing solutions engineering, I really liked it. Applied Python for data science, nice. Those are good courses. Applied Python for data science, I've done that. That is a good course. I'm trying to upskill myself. Like right now, I'm studying for my AWS Solutions Architect exam as well. It's not difficult. It's just a lot of stuff you need to know. So I'm doing that. Oh, and then I just saw, I don't know if you follow Free Code Camp. Let's see, they just uploaded a new course. If you're learning Python, so Solutions Architect Associate is a certificate. I'll talk about that in just a second. So if you're learning Python, check out Free Code Camp as well. I didn't use them as much as I should have early on, but they're great. So they just uploaded this new course. It's like 5 hours long, called Python GUI development for desktop. I'm planning on taking that. Google Data Science in Coursera, but I have been having. Yeah, that's fine, man. It's, as long as you stick with it. I have been guilty of that. I had to learn data science on my own. I didn't get a degree in it. I actually had a degree in pre-medicine, and I learned data science on my own. And it was a fun time. It was fun. It was hard, but it was fun. So Rahul, you asked, is that a certificate? Yes. So there are 3 major cloud providers. There are others, but like those are the 3 big ones. There's Amazon, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. So, and most data scientists will usually just work with AWS. That's the standard. I think it's great. I've been using AWS since 2018. So right now I'm studying for the AWS Solutions Architect Associate exam. And it's just you essentially learning about all the range of services that are offered by AWS. So there's different level. Data science, marketing, then decided to quit, learn data science. Nice, that's great. Data science is great. And the reason I switched to data science was because I was pre-med, left for various different, I completed my degree, but I went to data science mostly because I wanted to be able to work in different fields. And now I'm taking these AWS certifications. Um, so there's different levels of these certifications. There's the basic level, which in AWS is called Certified Cloud Practitioner, which just means that I know AWS basically. Then there is the one that I'm doing, which is Solutions Architect Associate, and then after that comes Professional, so Solutions Architect Professional or Developer, and then you can pick a specialty that you can specialize in. I intend to specialize in machine learning and finance. Now, the reason why to take them, you was thinking like that's a lot of studying. Why would you be so stupid to take them? Because they're highly valuable, right? So if you do the top three, right? So the professional level, you do certified cloud practitioner, the one that I'm working on, associate, and then professional. If you finish those, you can easily, at least in the US, you can get like 200 to 250K a year. No worries. Oh, the question was switching from data science to, not really. So data science, I think, is more conceptual, right? So you have to understand what like different things are, like what a machine learning algorithm is, what is the difference between machine learning and AI. So you have to understand those things. Learning about cloud is really honestly just memorizing a bunch of stuff and then like knowing which stuff to use. Now at the level that I am at, architect, I'm not expected to write any code. Like I'm not expected to do any integrations. But if I go to the specific like specializations, I would be expected to write code, and then code can come in handy. But if I wanted to just do architect stuff, that's fine. But the big difference that I would say between data science and switching to cloud is data science is more conceptual, more abstract, and it moves a lot faster, right? So since the time a year ago when I stopped like actively participating in the open source data science community, there have been massive changes. Cloud, even though it moves fast, doesn't move as fast as data science. So cloud, I would say the major difference is definitely that data science is conceptual, which I loved. Cloud is a little bit more kind of like memorizing things. But it is its own kind of yeah, I saw that. Yani just did that. She's great. I just came across her channel, and yeah, she's great. And thank you so much, Yani, for doing that. I didn't realize that, and then all of a sudden I was taking notes, and the chat was going crazy. And I was like, "What's going on?" And yeah, it's always nice to have more people to study with, essentially. Because I've been studying by myself for since I started doing data science. That's one of the reasons why I started streaming this stuff, because it's always fun to meet other people who are in the journey for data science, because there is no like roadmap for it, right? There's so many different like boot camps, etc., etc. Like, oh, give us $5,000 and we'll teach you data science, and that's fine. If you have the resources, go for it. But I think there's enough high class resources that you can do data science, by yourself, and that's pretty much what I did. It's a little bit longer route, but I think you can definitely like do data science by yourself, and it's a very rewarding field, and I'm glad I did it. But I had a pretty like zigzaggy path to it. It wasn't like exactly clear. And I was talking to one of my coworkers today who is doing his master's in data science. But because I moved from data science to like solutions architect stuff, so I'm not exactly a data scientist. In my day to day, I probably use data science about like 30-40% of the time. But majority of that, like the rest of it, is just me kind of dealing with clients, etc. And, just learning about their business problems and trying to solve them. But one of my colleagues is doing his master's in data science from a university, and I was telling him, I was like, I am not sure how much I want to get a master's in data science. It's and I might still go for it. I haven't decided yet. Maybe in 2024 I'll consider getting a master's. Um, but I want to spend 2023 kind of thinking about it. Like, do I actually need it? Because I think for my bachelor's, I just jumped too early into it. I should have taken like another year off, and maybe I wouldn't have gone for pre-medicine. So I'm gonna spend the next year, number one, getting my certifications in AWS and Azure, and also deciding if I want to get a master's. And if the answer is yes, then I'll go for it. But if not that, I have been wanting to do like a graduate degree in. It's not going to be useful to me, but I want to get a graduate degree in philosophy. I really do. But actually, I don't know if it won't be useful to me. One of my like really really smart colleagues, he doesn't have like a math degree. He is a machine learning engineer, but he has a degree in philosophy. I am really really interested in the idea of doing a master's degree in philosophy. Mostly because I read a lot of philosophy. Like a bunch of these books behind me that you're seeing, a decent number of them are just philosophy books. Does Coursera certificate help you landing job or actual understanding of understanding of concepts? 100%. Absolutely did. The landing of jobs. So I know some people who were helped by it. I personally wasn't. It's not a knock on Coursera. I love Coursera. I've been using Coursera since 2018, right? So 4 years. Coursera is an excellent resource. The way I kind of ended up in my job was I was doing freelance work, and I chanced upon this listing where they were looking for somebody to write technical blogs about machine learning. So I just applied. It wasn't like much. It was like $50 a blog or something like that. But they liked my stuff enough that they just kept giving me work, essentially, for like 6 months. And then they were like various different works, not just writing blogs, but other things as well. So 6 months later, they just hired me. So I ended up in this job like in a weird kind of way. Like my journey has been completely weird. It's been completely non-intuitive. But Coursera is a great resource. Like I said, I know people who it has really helped. For me, it gave me the concepts to kind of go for it, and help me really understand machine learning and artificial intelligence and data science and cover some of my mathematics bases. But would I say that it helped me? No, I would say it didn't hurt me. Have you read work of Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature? Nice. I haven't. Let me just put it on my bookshop wish list and I'll order it for Christmas. Is it Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature? There we go. Nice. Thank you for the recommendation. I'll order it for myself for Christmas. I have to, right now I'm just doing Christmas shopping for my nephews and nieces, or niece, I have one niece. Oh, what just happened with my camera? There we go. God damn it, this USB is acting up. Okay, let's give it a second. Yeah, man. Alright, I think my wire just got crossed for the camera. Let's try loading it again. Alright, let's plug it in. Alright, let's see if this works. Alright, camera loading up. Of course. There we go. Yeah, my laptop's charger just got tangled up. Yeah, so that is what I'm reading. I'm actually reading 2 books at the moment. I'm reading one which is sort of like self-help book. This one right here, the bullet journal method. I'm using it to kind of learn about how bullet journaling works. I'm almost done. I think I have like 15 pages left. So I'll probably finish this tonight. And then I've been reading this, John Brown by W.E.B. Du Bois, which is his biography. and I have 100 pages left on it. John Brown, Bullet Journal is by a author named Ryder Carroll, and they're I don't know about his other books, honestly. Um, and I don't think Bullet Morning. Let's see, what is Bullet Morning book? Bullet Morning. Maybe it is, but the author is not the same. Bullet Morning book. No, I don't think it's the same. I have a love-hate relationship with self-help books. I love them because they have some good stuff, but I hate them because I think most of them can be just 15-minute TED Talks. The only, and I've read a decent amount of them in the last 3 years since COVID started. Um, the only book that I read that was self-help book that I didn't think that I thought deserved to be a book was Atomic Habits. What are your top 3 recommendations? Nonfiction. Depends on what kind of nonfiction. Is there a specific category you're interested in? I would highly recommend this one. I think bullet journal method is a really good one. I like to make lists in the morning and for the week. So if you like making lists for things to do throughout the week, the month, the morning, the day off, and your longer goals, that's this one I would recommend. I think this is great. Um, Non-fiction books is such a wide topic. Atomic Habits, yeah, Atomic Habits is great. Love it. If you liked Atomic Habits, I think um, you will like this bullet journal method as well. If you like that kind of stuff, yeah, 100%. One book I always recommend people is like to read is Malcolm X. The autobiography of Malcolm X, as told to Alex Haley, is a book that it's hard for me to usually read biographies. I tend to listen to them, but Malcolm X's biography, when I read it, I think I burned through that in a weekend. It was so interesting. Um, that's another recommendation. And then nonfiction. Let's see, what do I have on my shelf? Trying to think what else I can. Stoicism, Sir Ryan Holiday. Nice. I have a friend of mine who reads a lot of philosophy. It's interesting. His degree is in architecture, but he reads a lot of philosophy. Uh, so he often recommends a lot of stuff to me. I have been reading not exactly philosophy. Yeah, audiobook. That's a great book. And if you watch the movie that Spike Lee made, which is also a really good movie, he kind of condenses the movie in a little weird ways, but overall the gist is still there. And recently I have been sort of doing excursions or learning about the I mean, I come from Pakistan, so subcontinental history, like ancient history that's like 5,000 plus years ago, because that's a part of history that's not usually discussed or talked about or researched. Um, oh, nice, sweet. What part of India? I'm from Pakistan. I'm from Punjab. If you like that kind of stuff, read a book in February this year called Early Indians. You got to check that out. It's excellent. It traces. Nice, sweet Mumbai. That's great. I'd like to visit someday. Maybe I will next. 2024 it's seeming like a year that I'm gonna finally do a bunch of stuff that I want to do. Like I'm probably gonna go for a master's degree, and then I have wanted to visit India for the longest time. I'll probably do that in 2024 as well. But yeah, I was saying early Indians. If the name of the author is Tony Joseph. It's a dense book. It's not long. I think it's about 250 pages. But what it does is it catches you up with the work that has happened in anthropology. And That's good, man. I like good food. Uh, yeah, we have some good restaurants here. I live here in Philadelphia, but we have really good Indian, Pakistani, and Bangladeshi, South Indian restaurants like 40 minutes away from me in New Jersey, that I love going to. Um, and I was saying like yeah, Early Indians is an excellent book. I loved it. Um, it's dense, but it catches you up with like the most recent progresses that have been made in like deep DNA. So DNA that was discovered from like you know 10,000 years ago that somehow they have figured out how to actually read them, and then archaeology and genealogy and history. So yeah, I actually read it with a bunch of friends. Oh, nice, my friend. Yeah, yeah. Philly, I love Philly, um, and Philly is excellent. It's not too big. It's big, but it's not like New York big. It's not like Chicago big, but it's also not a small city. So it's like just like the right amount of city. Like when you're doing machine learning, you want just a model that is just right, that doesn't overfit, that doesn't underfit. It's just right. I think Philly is the just right city for me. I have some of my friends who live in New York, some who live in Chicago, LA. They love it, and I love visiting them. But I don't think I'll ever want to move to those cities. They're too big for me, too busy, and honestly too expensive. Um, so yeah, it's interesting stuff. So yeah, my three recommendations are definitely um, Bullet Journal Method, Malcolm X, Early Indians. Those three books I love. Angelo's Pizza. I know I have heard that pizza. Let's actually check how far that is from me, because I have heard of that pizza. And because everybody, when they come to Philly, they think about cheesesteak. Angelo's Pizza. Okay. Okay, it's actually not too far from where my family lives. Let's pull up the maps images. I think I probably already know where. Yeah, I know where this is. Let's turn you around. Yeah, I know where this is. Okay, cool. So next time I go to my sister's place, I'll check that out. It's actually not too far from where she lives. About 10 minutes away, roughly. Yeah, whenever people come to Philly, they think of cheesesteak. And Philly has excellent cheesesteak. But yeah. Yeah, man. Been Speaking of India, I've been telling all of my friends to watch RRR. I love that movie, man. I really regret not going to see it in the theater. I had a friend from Canada visiting me, and I just couldn't go when it was playing in a theater near me. Um, and since then, I've seen it like 5 times, the full movie, so like 15 hours, and I listen to its songs constantly. But yeah, it's one of my big regrets is not going to see RRR in a theater. Let's actually check if it's playing again in a theater, because it's having its Oscar run, right? So RRR theater near me. It might be. What? It is actually running in a theater close to me. Not super close, but like 30 minutes away. That's not too bad. Let's see. RRR. Let's see, what are the Sunday times? Arts Quest Center. Let's check. Yeah, RRR was amazing. I had a friend of mine who was, who's a white guy. Love him. He watched it with me, and he was just like, "What is going on?" He was just having the time of his life. Especially in Natu Natu song when that started, it was like, "What is going on?" uh, do I work from home? Yeah, yeah, I work from home. I love it. I actually started working from home a month before COVID started, and then everybody went, remote. But I was working remote about a month before that, and yeah, I love working from home. It lets me do pretty much what I want. And at this point, At this point, I have automated enough of my stuff that I get to have a lot of free time to myself. And free not in just like to fuck around, but just to like learn, to like watch like Coursera or Free Code Camp. Like I have enough um, time to like explore my interest. So technically, I'm not working right now. The my I would like to do that, but right now my setup is not powerful enough to do that. If I'm running my stream from my laptop, but if I'm working at the same time, I can't do anything. So right now, I don't have any of my work apps open, like Slack or some of the other stuff I have to run, because they consume like most of my CPU. But I am planning on getting a streaming setup, most likely in February. So I'm just exploring things like how best to do Twitch essentially. Um, and I feel pretty comfortable now. So what I'm gonna do most likely in February is, um, yeah, laptop would overheat. Right now, like when I'm doing my Twitch stuff, I don't think it overheats. Like the longest stream I have run on this laptop is actually over the weekend. When I was reading John Brown, I ran a 12-hour stream. So it did fine, but I was literally not doing anything else on the laptop. Like there was just music playing, stream running for 12 hours. It's a MacBook. I was hoping my job would give me an M1 chip MacBook because I have heard really good reviews about them that you can actually do gaming on them, but they didn't. It's whatever. So in February, what I'm gonna do is get my streaming setup done, or get like a tower PC, and then I'll probably just port over everything there, which would be the first time I've used PC in 8 years. I used to be a big PC user, but then I went to Ubuntu, and I never looked back. Um, yeah, I think work from home is the way to go, especially if you're in like tech sort of field. Uh, Work from home is the way to go. Like initially, when I started this job, I did go to the office for the first week I had to for orientation. Uh, but since then, I don't think I've been in office for like a single minute. Not that it's close by. The office is in New York, so I can't even go there if I wanted to. Um, but they gave me the option back then to just work from home. I was like, yeah, yeah, I can stream as well. Like nobody's stopping me. Um, I would just, and I don't really do screen shares, so it's not even like I'm sharing anything I'm not supposed to. But most of my work day is client calls. Like, yeah, I would say like a majority of my day is getting on client calls, doing business discovery questions, etc. And then uh, we're like doing like internal calls, like aligning on different things. And then if I'm working on a demo specifically, that's when I do my data science part. So, which I would say is like about 30% of my job. Um, Probably like 40-50% is actually like just client calls and like follow-ups, etc. And then about 20% is just internal alignment with the rest of the team. So it's not, I mean, a lot of our software engineers are definitely more overworked than I am. But like I said, I've been doing this for like over 3 years now. So a lot of the stuff that I need to do, I have automated away. So like I have scripts and all that stuff written, um, so that and it's not like I don't need to work on other stuff. Like all these other things that I work on are supposed to help me do my job better. So like when I'm at work, and I'm not doing, or I'm having a lighter day, what I'll usually do is, for example, recently for my work, I've been reading a book called The Great Demo, which has really helped me up my demo game recently. So I try to like be as productive as possible, and um, you know, because you can write all the great scripts you want, but if you're a solutions architect, you also need to have the ability to do excellent demos. Because if you're not doing good demos, you're not gonna get that much commission, and because you won't be closing as many deals. So to close those deals, you gotta get really good at demos, which I think at this point I have it down to a pat. Um, that doesn't mean I close all the deals. There's always like sometimes business misalignment. That's fine. That's just part of the sales cycle. But yeah, once you and it is just it's something that is completely new to me. So I've been trying to learn as much about it as possible. So like product development, sales cycle, things that I'm not trained in. So I've been learning about those. And my boss knows it, and he's pretty cool with it. He's like, yeah, I'm sure that sounds good. So it is fun. Life is not bad. It can be worse. Um, yeah, I'm just glad that I get to essentially do things that I love. Yeah, and that's a huge blessing. Not everybody. I feel like most people do jobs they hate. I'm lucky enough to do a job that I love. So, what can I say about that other than say that I'm just really happy that I get to do it? And then I get to stream at night, and and whenever people join me, that's always more fun because as I was mentioning that for the last 4 years, whenever I would study, I was just like in a room, just studying and like music playing at best. But now, whenever anybody drops by and you know, I have chatters that just makes me feel like I'm starting with a bunch of people and just makes it more fun. Because otherwise, you're just watching videos and taking notes and going to sleep. That can be fun. I mean, that is like its own kind of way of challenging, but it's not really the most fun way of learning things. And then like I said, I'm really happy always when I meet people who are on their data science journey because it's such an interesting journey, man. Like once you get there, um, you will always look back at the journey you had and realize how crazy it was. Um, which is why I don't think like whenever anybody and any of my friends ask me like should I go to school for data science, I tell them if you have the money to go for it, go for it. It's just going to make your life easier. But if you don't want to spend those dollars or those whatever currency, just do it online, and I think you'd still be able to get where you want um, using like mostly free stuff. And then you have a story to tell, for the rest of your life. Like whenever I tell people, um, I came from like pre-medicine and I'm just doing machine learning. That's a story, like that's such a huge jump. How many people have that story, right? So that kind of makes you stand out because now you have their attention. You say, hey, I used to learn about anatomy and now I'm talking about decision trees, and I can explain to you how DALI works. Um, there's a story to be told there. But it's not for everyone, because it is very frustrating. Going on this journey by yourself is very frustrating. Oh, before I forget, if you are doing data science, just make sure you are on Kaggle. If you're not on Kaggle, get on Kaggle. Kaggle really helped me land a job. Not directly, but indirectly, because I made so many notebooks, sometimes like really stupid ones, that were doing nothing, but then some like really well thought out. Um, and you can always use them as projects whenever anybody's asking you for a job or whenever you go for your job search. And they have their competitions as well. I'm going to be getting back into it. Most likely once I finish this machine learning specialization, I'll get back to Kaggle. Kaggle is a great resource. Anybody who's in a data science journey should absolutely be there because that serves as a few things. Number one, as your portfolio, because you get to show what you have built and like essentially your journey. And it also like gives you a community to talk to people who are on the same journey as you or who have completed that journey. And um, and especially if you enjoy their competitions, that's a belt. That's a serious notch in your on your belt or whatever. Essentially, like yeah, exactly like a focus group. Um, if you, I got into their competitions a little bit. I didn't fully commit to it, and in the end, it didn't matter for me. But if you like their competitions and you get good at it, and you move up their ladder, that is almost a guaranteed job, right? That's like the easiest way I can explain it. I don't know someone, but I've read someone's story who didn't have a traditional engineering degree like software engineering or something, learned data science on their own, and I'm forgetting the name of the guy, some Russian guy. But essentially, through Kaggle, he built up his portfolio to a point. I think he was like the top two people on their competitions, and ended up working for Lyft for a little bit, Uber, and I think now he has his own startup that he's working on. The last I checked on LinkedIn. So if you get really good on Kaggle, it can pay off really big. Um, that's like the only thing I always tell people who are on data science journeys, to make sure you're on Kaggle. Kaggle can really pay off. Oh, and one more thing is, when I was doing my data science journey, um I was maintaining a blog, and it doesn't have to be a blog. Just try to get your work out in as many avenues as possible. Um, that blog really helped me. So I took the 100 days of machine learning challenge, where I did 100 days of machine learning. But because I wanted a record of that, I just kept 100 blogs essentially. So I wrote 102 or 103 blogs. So every day I would do something for machine learning. It can be medium blog, yeah. I had a WordPress blog. I don't know if I deactivated it. I haven't. It might have deactivated by itself. Last time I checked it was in 2019. Um, so it doesn't have to be a blog. You can maintain a YouTube channel, right? Make a video for 30 seconds, or like a short, YouTube short, for example, Instagram short. Something you can just show, like, hey, here you go. This is the proof of me actually doing something for some time. And if you do it on YouTube Shorts, that's another place for you to like essentially um, monetize what you're doing. Yeah, 100 days of doing something, that's bound to get caught up in the algorithm.